say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come up.
Hey y'all, and thank you for clicking on the video. This is Nikki Live again, coming to you again with my another recap of this week's Power Season 3, Episode 3, which is called I Got This on Lock. Fucking good episode. Awesome. I just got done watching it twice back to back on Stars on Demand, so this video will be up early prior to the 10 o'clock airing tonight on Stars. But let's go ahead and get into this preview. I'm sorry, into this recap, because it is almost 5 a.m. in the morning here where I am. And yes, I am ready to go to bed. Hence the hair wrap. So let's go ahead and get this started. I don't have any notes tonight. I will be going basically off what I remember, because like I said, I just watched it twice just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So it starts off in DC. And we see this 24-hour pharmacy. So we see this dude in the aisle listen to that go-go music in his headphones. So he starts hearing like loud screams or whatever, voices coming from the front of the store. So old boy peeps his head around the corner and he sees his guy he came in there with, holding up the motherfucking damn the pharmacy dude. And the dude like, nigga, give me all your motherfucking Adderall, give me all your fucking pain pills, give me all your shit, hurry up, put that shit in the bag. So then you see the dude who would listen to the go-go music shooting off a text. Next we see the police pull up and the police get out the car. Now we don't know if it's a chick or if it's a guy walking into the situation. Next thing we see and hear is put down your weapon, and it's a chick's voice. So it pans to the chick, and it's what's her face name? The same chick from Dreamgirls, and I think she played the voice of Princess and the Frog. I want to say, I think her name was Anika Noni Rose, whatever. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So she's talking to the clerk, and she's like, "Sir, is there anyone else here with you?" And he's like, "No, I worked alone tonight, and I pushed the silent alarm." So she says, "I wish you wouldn't have done that. Shoot this motherfucker." So dude shoots the dude and dome him straight in his motherfucking head, like, dude. So then she fucks around and shoots the guy who was holding up the store. And but before doing that, she says, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Why y'all doing some shit without having a plan?" And then she fucks around and shoots the guy. And then she calls it in, saying it was an officer shooting. So now we have a brand new character who is a police, and the bitch is fucking corrupt. Next thing we see is Angela and Ghost running or doing their morning jog or whatever, I guess prior to them going to work. So they're running, whatever. And it pans to Greg across the street watching them, but they don't see him. But he's straight lurking, looking at them. So then they're going back to the house. They're getting ready to go back to the house, Ghost and Angela. And he lets Angela go ahead of him. And he sends a text out to Tommy saying, "Tommy, we need to meet up." Now at the same time that the text is going through to Tommy, you see Tommy, Holly, and Tasha in the car sitting in front of the damn hair salon. Keisha's hair salon from last week, which is I think the weave shop. So she's telling them, okay, this right here is gonna be our new business where we launder our money through. So Holly asking all these damn questions, 103 questions, like how this shit gonna get done, what we gonna do, how the money gonna get laundered. So basically, Tasha running it down to her, okay, I got this hair supplier, we're gonna buy in bulk from them, wholesale from them, we're gonna sell it, we're gonna sell the weed to all the other beauty salons there and sell to customers as well. So all we have to do is make enough as much as when the revenue comes in, make sure we have enough receipts to make sure that it looks legit, and I'm making money off my initial investment. And then by that time, we'll fuck around to get more businesses, aka more salons, to help cover our money. So next thing we see, Ghost and Angela have gotten ready for the day, and they're getting ready to go to work. So as they're walking down the street, Angela peeps that Greg is straight lurking at them. She actually sees him this time, and she sees him across the street. So she lies to Ghost, like, Ghost, I need to go back to the house. I left something at the house. So he leaves to go to work for the day, whatever. And she goes across the street and talks to Greg. She's like, why the fuck you keep stalking me, my nigga? Like, what the fuck is this about? To her surprise, Greg tells her, bitch, I ain't fucking stalking you. I'm stalking your nigga now. And what, bitch? I was like, okay. So he basically shows her a picture on his phone that, yeah, if your boy's so clean, why he still going to see Tommy? So he shows a picture of him coming out of Tommy's house. And of course, she looking dumbfounded as usual. Now, it clicks right back. Then it goes from that scene to Tariq and his friend at the school outside, I guess for recess or whatever, lunch, whatever the case may be. It's time for him to go in. But he's telling his friend, you know, yeah, my mom was about to clean out my room, and I had to bring it to school so I could find somewhere else to hide it because I couldn't have my mom finding it. I was like, find what? So he pans to his book bag, and he has the gun in his book bag. They end up getting caught by one of the teachers. And the teacher takes the book bag and sees there's a gun inside. Now it pans right back over to Angela at the house looking for her fucking gun. I can't find that shit. And then she gets a call. So as Tariq is getting pulled into the office, she gets a phone call saying that her gun has been located. Next thing we see is Tasha sitting on the bench in front of the principal's office, waiting for Ghost to come in, you know, because she's called him to let him know things happen at school, need to come over right away, you know, something's happened to the kids. And he's like, what's going on, Tasha? What happened with the kids? What's going on? She's like, Raina is fine, but the principal said that Tariq had a gun. So he sits down, he's like, a gun? Where did he get a gun from, Tasha? And she's like, I don't know. And he was like, well, I don't have a gun, but you do. Okay, Ghost. So she looks at him the same way I just turned my head to this camera. And she's like, I would never have my gun out for my kids to fuck around and just get their hands on. Nigga, what kind of parent you think I am? Fuck out of here. So they go to the office and they talking to the white lady. And the white lady is like, okay, well, you know, Tariq, you know, brought a gun to school. That's basically going to be expulsion for him. But before they talk about that expulsion shit, she drops this bombshell on them both. Well, the police has traced the gun back to ADA Angela Valdez. And the look on Ghost's face was fucking priceless. He was looking like, not Angela, but Tasha had her fucking gay face on. So basically, they were able to keep him in school. He had to go through some counseling and some other shit to stay in school stay in school, whatever. So as they're leaving with Tariq, Tasha tells Tariq to go wait for her in the car. So she talked to Ghost, basically. She says, how did Tariq get Angela's gun? That nigga said, I don't know, I wasn't there the whole night. And she's like, what? What you mean you wasn't there the whole night? And he's like, well, he's trying to explain, well, Tommy called. She's like, I don't give a fuck. You should have brought their asses back home. That was not part of our deal. You know, basically, that was not part of our deal. She said, you know what? Don't even worry about it, my dude. Don't even worry about it. Because you know what? My kids will never come back over there. You know, the dude had the nerve to come out his face and say, you're being unreasonable. She said, no. I'm not being unreasonable. I'm not being unreasonable. My son got a gun. You have to see your kids at the house. And I was like, yes, Tasha, yes. You should have slapped the shit out of his ass. So basically she tells him, you know what, you come over to the house later on tonight so we can talk to our child together. Moving on from there. So then we see Julio fucking this shit out this chick. The same chick from last week when they offered the girls to Tommy and Julio last week, and Tommy was like, nah, we pass. But he's a fucking that girl. And so when they get done fucking, she starts sniffing that white girl, and she offered him some. He's like, nah, I don't get high. I just sell that shit. So she said, well, it's weak anyway. You know, it basically was stepped on. So he asked her, well, where did you get it? Where did you get this product from? So she says, well, I got it from Dylan, which is the older Chinese man's son. So he immediately gets on the phone and calls Tommy. He's like, yo, we need to meet up. Then we see the cop from the very first scene coming home after all this shit popped off with the shooting and everything. So she has a girlfriend. She's gay. She has a girlfriend. And she's asking her, you know, how is he doing today? You know, did he eat? And the girl's like, well, he didn't eat today. I guess he's doing all right. He really didn't get up today. He's, you know, it's been up. So come to find out, they hiding Kanan in their house. She walks up the stairs, looking at him, whatever, and just leaves the room. So he's burnt the fuck up. He burnt the fuck up. So next we see Tommy, Julio, and the older gentleman who was the leader of the Chinese gang. And Tommy is letting the dude know, you know, whoever's cutting up this product, diluting the product, that's going to bring heat to us because that could fuck around and cause somebody's death. And if somebody dies, they can trace the drugs back to us, which is going to make it hot for the streets. So the old dude was like, you know what, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. You know, don't worry about it. I'm going to handle it. It's going to be to the bottom. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Get to the bottom of what's going on. So they leave the meeting or whatever after they talk about it, you know, and he lets them know, you know, what's going on. Next we see James paying for dinner for the two dudes who ran the club across the street and this new chick. So they're having dinner and they're going to pay for the ticket, pay for the meal, and the waitress comes over and says, well, your meal has already been paid for. And they're like, by who? So James walks up, aka Ghost walks up. It's like, yeah, it's on me. I paid for the meal. And he introduces himself to the chick. So come to find out, the chick is, I guess, a hotel heiress, and she's trying to open up a new hotel or condominium thing or whatever, and she's trying to put a club there. So he ends up, you know, doing it so smooth that she ends up coming to talk to him later on in the episode about, you know, possibly having his club in her location. His club or her clubs in her location. Baby, the next scene we see is Tasha, Tariq, and Ghost. And I will say this right here, Tasha and Ghost are way better parents than I am, because that wouldn't be no motherfucker damn talking conversation for me. It would be my foot, that nigga ass, point blank and period. That I don't have patience for dumb shit. Like, I really the fuck don't. And I don't got patience for no smart ass little kids. I don't play with kids. I don't play with youngins, period. So they talking, and they're like, why would you bring a gun to school? And his dumb ass come out of his face, and he's like, well, Sean got killed. I thought I was going to need it for protection. And Tasha looking like, really though? Protection? She's like, you go to a private school on the Upper East Side. Really though? But Tariq came back with some smart shit. This shit was funny as fuck. He was like, but white kids shoot up schools all the time. And I was like, true, and more true. I was like, yes, read. So Ghost was like, did you get smart your mother? The fuck? Did you get smart your motherfucking mama? So they was like, you know what? You're on punishment. You cannot have your iPhone, you can have your iPad, no TV, no vehicle, nothing. You just on punishment until we say further notice. So Tasha makes him give up his cell phone to his daddy. And he goes to his room. He's mad. He gets mad and walk off to his room. But before Ghost leave at night, Tasha's like, you know why he's acting out, right? So Ghost talking about well, we're just going to make him understand, what's going on, what's going on. And, he has to take responsibility for his actions. And she's like, yeah, and yours as well. Good night, Ghost. And I was like, yes. She dismissed the fuck out of that nigga just then. So next thing we see is Next thing we see is the Chinese dude's son Dylan. And I guess like there are bodyguards of other people in their gang. And he's like, you stole from me. Although I don't like the Koreans, they have a code of ethics. And he says, this is basically this is your punishment. He had to fucking cut off his fucking finger. I was like, oh shit. So the son taking out this big ass, sharp ass, I guess, razor. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. It was fucking humongous. It sliced off his fucking finger. And I was like, ooh, I gotta turn my head. Like, oh, so gross. So next thing we see is, So next thing we see the girlfriend of the cousin. No, we see the girlfriend of the girl, cause they didn't say her name yet. We see the girlfriend of the cop talking to Kanan. And in the conversation, we find out that her name is Jukebox, and that's Kanan's cousin. So the plan was for her to fuck Kanan to get information out of him as to the real reason as to why he's there. But she doesn't end up fucking him. She ends up giving him some of this shit that she calls, I think, some kind of sweet tea or whatever. But whatever the fuck it is, get you fucked up, feeling real nice. So it loosened him up enough for him to say, well, I'm going to get back at Ghost. But she had no idea who or what he was talking about. So when Jukebox comes home for the night, she's like, okay, well, how did it go? How did it fucking go? Did you fuck him? How did it go? Did he say anything to you? And she's like, well, he wasn't in any condition to fuck, but I was able to loosen him up with this tea. And she said something, and she was telling her, well, he said something about ghost. So Jukebox says, ghost. So she knows this nigga too. So now I'm thinking, did they all grow up together? Like, how the fuck did they all know each other? Because she knew exactly who the fuck Ghost was when she even said ghost out her mouth. So next, we see Holly in the bathroom. The water running in the sink. She looking crazy, frantic and shit, looking scared as fuck. Come find out this hoe is fucking pregnant. I'm like, interesting. Very interesting. But I get it, because Tommy and that bitch always fucking no protection. Bound to happen. So she goes out the bathroom and doesn't tell Tommy about her being pregnant. But she comes out the bathroom. She's like, well, what are you doing about Ghost? What's going on with that? What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back before I get to that part. Let me go back. I missed a whole bunch of shit just now. Greg goes to talk to the initial dude, one of the initial dudes from the original task force from, I think, season 1. Task force. I think he's the guy who infiltrated Louise's gang. He goes talk to him, and he's asking him to use his connects to locate Louise. He's explaining to him that, I'm working on the Lobos case. He's like, okay, Lobos is dead. He's like, yeah, but I'm trying to connect his distributor to him. And he's like, I want to, find Louise, because Louise can identify him. And he's like, well, why you don't go through your own connects at your own, your own district. So the dude don't even know old boy suspended. So he's like, all right, whatever. I'll go ahead and try to locate him, whatever. But he asking her why, you can't. But when he asked her why he can't go to his own people, he's like, well, I don't want to get compromised because, AKA the ADA, the attorney, AKA Angela, is compromised. And he's like, I can't stand that bitch either. So yeah, he all down for it too, because he can't stand that hoe either. Okay, so then we see, like I said, Tariq done the gun, whatever. So then we see Angela come home from work. And we see Ghost already at the fucking house. And he has his, I guess his lounge around the house shit on, whatever. And you could tell he been waiting for her to get her ass home all fucking day. Yes, he has. Cause he been waiting to get into that ass. Before that bitch can even say, hey, how you doing? How was your day? Ghost come out his face. What the fuck you doing with a damn, loaded gun out for my kids to get to? And she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't have a chance to put the gun up. You brought the kids here so early. And he's like, wait, so that's my fault because I brought the kids here early? And she's like, no, it's not your fault. It's my fault. It's nobody, I apologize. Yeah. X, Y, and Z. They having words like, whoa, just going in because he's like, with my son, and then she was like, well, I'm sorry, I don't have any kids. And he's like, yeah, you don't have any kids. Exactly, bitch. So she's like, well, is it cool for him to be going through my stuff? And he was like, that's the fuck kids do. They get into shit. I was like, okay. And she was like, so I guess she was like, I guess it's hereditary because you go through my shit too. And he looking at her like, I'm about to strangle the shit out this bitch right here. So he said, you know what? Let's just walk away for this shit. This shit getting heated. So they walk away. And so she asked him, have you seen Tommy? He turns around and she's like, oh, so I asked you about a gun. You asked about Tommy. Oh, I forgot. It's about the case you're working. And she's like, I asked, it's about the case that you're working with, whatever. And he's like, what the fuck? We keep talking about this shit. We said we go to squash him. He asked me about that shit. So he comes out and he says, no, I haven't seen Tommy. I went to his house. He wasn't there. I've called him. He does not want to see me. So that's just that. They got into it. Oh, yeah. Earlier in the episode, she did go look at apartments for them to move in, like bigger apartments for them to look into. And the realtor gave her, I guess, the application to get started to move in, whatever. She fucked around and threw that shit in the trash after that argument went down, whatever. So let's move on to where I was a minute ago with Holly in the bathroom and her being pregnant. So Holly, like I said, finds out that she's pregnant. She'll pee on about 3 or 4 sticks. And all them shit say positive, and more positive. Bitch, you pregnant. So like I said, she didn't tell Tommy she was pregnant when she came out the bathroom. She was just like, okay, what's going on with the ghost situation? When you gonna kill this nigga, what's going on? So right then they having this discussion. Now mind you, I said Ghost has Tariq's phone. He gets a text from Tariq's phone saying, Uncle Tommy, I got in trouble today at school. I'm so and so place. Can you come and see me? So he's like, I gotta go. Tariq is calling me, blah blah blah. She's like, what the fuck you mean? Just call his mama. He's like, no. Tariq reached out to me. I'm not gonna let him down, especially because his father's not around. So he leaves her at the house and goes to see about Tariq. Before I get to that part. Okay, that was like the last scene. Right before I get to that. So the cousin, Jukebox, is talking to the dude from the initial crime when it first came on. To the dude she said to go ahead and leave. He's over to her house. And she's like, I need you to do one more job. This is going to be enough money for you to take care of the rest of your tuition in school. Yada, yada, yada. And he's like, man, I don't know, man. You killed my boy. You killed this other dude. Yeah. I ain't signed up for this shit. So Kanan is overhearing the conversation. And he walks in, and he's like, yo, you don't need this nigga on your team. He pussy anyway. He sounds look like a pussy. So the dude looking at him like, nigga, yo burnt, crispy, Freddy Krueger looking ass. You got the nerve come to face, nigga. I ain't no motherfucking pussy. So Kanan was about to hit this nigga upside the head with his goddamn cane that the cousin bought for him. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny. So she gets him out the house and they end up having a conversation. So kind of find out, she knows that Sean is dead. That Sean is dead. So she's questioning him like, okay, what the fuck happened with Sean? Like, what did you kill? No, she's like, the ghost killed Sean. You know, what's going on? Like, you let this nigga beat you again? What, let this nigga beat you? So he basically tells her that Ghost is the reason why I got locked up. No, I didn't. No, Ghost didn't shoot Sean. I shot him. So he admitted to the fact that he killed his son. And that Ghost is the reason why he got locked up to his cousin. Okay, so let's move on to the text from Tariq. So Tommy goes to the place where Tariq said he was. So Ghost pops out. And Ghost is like, well, what the fuck? I should have known it was you calling, texting me, whatever. So Ghost is trying to get on this nigga good side. And he's like, you know, I know Lobos ain't dead. I know you still working for him. Did Lobo, you know, basically so many words he's saying. Ghost is so many words are saying, I know Lobos hired you to take me out, but because you didn't, I'm still here. Let's team up together and get rid of this nigga. Like, an enemy of mine should be an enemy of yours. And Tommy looking at him like, same old Ghost, son. Ain't shit changed. And he looking at him like, nah, bro, we not even that cool no more. Like, why the fuck would I even trust you after all shit after all the lies and bullshit shit you just took me through last year? So Ghost stays trying to plead his case to Tommy, like, let's team up. And Tommy like, man, I'm sorry, Ghost is trying to plead his case to Tommy about let's team up and let's get Lobos. And Tommy like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And he walks off. And he's like, bye, Ghost. And that's how that shit went off. But this episode was fucking excellent. Like, it was so fucking good. Like, I'm ready for next week to pop off. Like, for real. Like, I cannot wait for next week to come soon enough. But do I have any predictions for next week? The only thing I think is gonna happen next week, I think whatever the Cousin Jukebox was planning, I think Kanan will be in on it. I think it's gonna happen next week. I think Tasha is going to have words for Angela. Like I think they're going to bump into each other somewhere. And Tasha's going to go in because basically her son could have killed herself. Her son could have killed himself, killed somebody else, and it was her gun. You know, and he could be in a lot of fucking trouble. I think it's going to be some information come in about Louise coming in. And Greg's going to have that information. And I also think we're probably going to see F.A. next week, some kind of way. We're going to see F.A. But yeah, that's all I have for this recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I do answer all comments. Again, this has been the recap for Season 3, Episode 3 of Power, which was entitled, I Got This on Lock. Also, if you have any relationship questions or issues and or concerns that you may need advice on, please give me an email. Please shoot me an email at livetalkwithnikki@gmail.com. Again, if you have any relationship issues, questions, or concerns, please email me at livetalkwithnikki@gmail. So thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from